Kathy Griffin is with us, and she has some viewpoints on things that have come out lately in Hollywood because she was at a Women in Hollywood event. Megyn Kelly was speaking, and she said something about President Trump.
Well, Megyn Kelly, at least from Kathy's point of view, Megyn Kelly was singing the praises of Donald Trump, and Kathy did not take kindly to that. And it started a thing, and we thought, let's talk about the thing it started.
This is actually very closely related to what we were saying about Common and Kanye.
Very much so.
So, Kathy, thanks for joining us.
Kathy wanted to be in the newsroom.
Oh, and she has a book, too. Did we mention?
Hi, it's me, the new intern.
Oh, God, can somebody please sanitize the cup?
Is that your cup? Oh, that's your cup?
No, it's my cup. It's somewhere, she took it from a desk.
Oh, it's not. I see.
So, anywho,
Oh my God, I feel so bad. I have full-blown Zika.
So listen.
Sorry, hi.
Hi. So tell us about this run-in, because apparently you were just indignant that Megyn Kelly would dare say anything good about Donald Trump.
There were hand gestures.
All right, first of all, I just want you to know that I have a signing at the Grove tomorrow night at 7 p.m. in Los Angeles.
We're guessing you have a book.
I have a book to sell, and for God's sake, buy it. You're going to know everybody in it. I cover 120 celebrities. Some of the stories go their way, some don't. I'm not going to lie. But I want your other cameraman to catch the situation that I demanded.
We only have one. I'm sorry.
No, I see
She's directing Johnny
one.
now.
I see a second
Oh, wait.
one.
Wait, you have Johnny holding the button for you. She has Johnny holding the button for her.
Yeah.
Okay, so Johnny's holding the talk button. We have another You're just taking over. Listen, we'll get to the celebrities in your book in just a second, because actually there's a great story to talk about.
We want to know why you were so pissed off at Megyn Kelly.
I am pissed off at Donald Trump. I am a 56-year-old woman. I thought that Hillary Clinton would have been a fantastic president. I certainly wanted a female first president. However, he is so stupid and offensive and dangerous to the country that I found it shocking that at a supposedly feminist, female-focused breakfast, Megyn Kelly, who was getting an award, fine. Halfway through the speech, I'm sitting there, okay, fine. And then she starts really laying it on thick for Trump. And I'm thinking, girl, this isn't CPAC. This isn't Heritage Foundation. So she started saying things like, you know, we've got to give him a chance, okay. And then she was saying he has so many wonderful qualities. And I was at a table with, you know, Ryan Murphy and Jessica Lange and Leah Michelle. And
name drop.
I have a lot of names to drop. And I also admit that I have an Achilles heel, which is I just want to make my table laugh. So when she was praising Trump so much in a room full of women, you know, the grabber, I'm looking around thinking, not on my watch. So you just hear a very loud and distinct boo.
That would be you?
And this was like a formal event. Like these chicks were there in like high couture. It was a very formal event. And then she keeps praising him more and she's making him sound better. And then I just started yelling Trump, Trump, until Megyn said, by the way, that's Kathy Griffin. And then I got an applause break because at least it was, you know, outrageous and disruptive. And then I kind of gave more of the praise, the middle finger. And there's a photo I'm sort of proud of, which is like it's a crowd of like fancy Beverly Hills celebrities, and then you just see one middle finger up there.
And that's yours, I bet.
It's mine.
So Kathy, do you disagree with Harvey's comment, which we were talking about Kanye and Common earlier, where Harvey thinks that there's a thawing going on now, that Hollywood is warming to the idea of at least giving Donald Trump a chance?
Do you think I really want to relitigate the election when I'm trying to sell a book?
But
Look,
we don't know.
first of all,
Hold on. The election doesn't need relitigating.
We're not talking about the election. We're post-election.
Yeah, post-election. He's president. He's going to be president.
Look, let me tell you something. As a comic, you know, like I said, I've got 2 Emmys and a Grammy and the Guinness Book of World Records for doing the most stand-up specials of any comedian, male or female, living or dead. 23, I wrote every word myself. Women are in danger with this administration. I really feel that. And also, as a comic, my job is to be a disruptor. It's to be outrageous. Look, there are many kinds of comedians. And in this book, I talk about everyone from Carrot Top to Weird Al Yankovic. I talk about all kinds of different celebrities. I have a Trump story in here that proves he shouldn't be president. But I'm just saying, as a comic, and everybody in here should be nervous because we're all going to go to prison together.
We're not going to go to prison
Yes,
together,
we are.
Kathy.
It's going to be the media and then the comics.
Kathy.
Gulag. I'll see you at the Gulag.
Okay, first of all, you should know.
All right, so there's no warming. I think the short answer is no, there's no warming.
And by the way, I read Megyn Kelly's book.
I do feel like that Harvey has some sort of inroad to the gay wing at Rikers if things really get ugly.
It's not, I'm not.
I think he's made calls.
I'm not pulling strings at a prison, Kathy.
Wait, There's a gay wing at Rikers?
There's not. It's
Yes! How do you not know what the gay wing at Rikers? What kind of gay
I
are
don't know.
you?
I haven't been to Rikers. I'm not.
I
I've
love
seen
that.
like
Did
17
you hear that?
documentaries on the gay Rikers.
I know. She put me on the
said,
spot
what kind
where
of gay are you? And
I know.
Charles's answer is, I haven't been
No,
to Rikers.
well, I was on the spot. I was on the spot because if I said I'm not gay, then you were going to yell at me like, oh, like it's a bad thing. Right.
Wait, is Harvey not out?
No. It was
Harvey.
it was Charles. I'm like.
Is Charles not out?
I can't. No, here's.
I don't judge. I don't judge.
Charles is not out
I'm
yet.
not like Donald Trump who judges. I think Charles being an LGBT, I'm assuming he's a Q. He's a Q. Which, by the way, Harvey, your boyfriend Donald Trump's representative Roger Stone, when Donald Trump said, and we want to be there for the LGBT community, they asked Roger Stone what Q is for, and Roger Stone said questionable.
Can I ask you something, Kathy?
How do you feel about being labeled as questionable, Harvey?
I'll tell you something. Donald
his
Trump,
behavior is questionable.
I'm curious. Do you think Donald Trump is homophobic?
Yes. I think he
I don't.
is.
I do
think
not.
he said he would let. Okay, just because Caitlyn is going to use the bathroom,
No,
like
it's
that's
not
okay
that.
with your community?
God. By the way, you
Can we
should
talk
know.
about?
You should know. Megyn Kelly trashed Donald Trump in her book. So you
Well,
know.
but she's here. I think she's just duplicitous. She's a climber. Look, she's a gorgeous Barbie doll, and men want to bang her, and girls want to be her, and I get it. But this is the story of someone who has risen to the top, you know, many, many times. But if you watch Fox News, then she really was vicious toward Hillary, vicious, spreading those lies. She also said, by the way, I just want to clear this up, Santa is white. So we don't really need her anymore spewing that nonsense.
You know, it's so weird you're saying that, Kathy, because of all the interactions in the campaign, the interaction she had with Trump where she went after him.
And
is
blood
probably,
was coming from out of her wherever.
Right, well, that was the seminal moment, was it not?
Yes, and that's why when I watched her get up there, I was like, okay, good, she's getting an award. And then when I watched her start to really praise Trump as a person and a potential leader, then I had to give her the boo.
Okay, let's talk about
All
your
right,
book.
celebrity run-ins. So, there's one in the book that we got to get to.
Let's go.
How in the world did you end up spooning with Suge Knight?
How do you spoon with Suge Knight?
First of all, you
I mean,
guys
yes,
don't
it's an interesting
understand
fit.
how #urban I am. So I swear to God, I was inspired to write this book, no joke, by watching Straight Outta Compton with my younger boyfriend.
Okay.
I'm watching Straight Outta Compton.
Do you have an older one too?
I don't have an older one, but I do have a little bit of a hall pass for Charles Osgood.
Gotcha.
All right, anyway, so I'm watching Straight Outta Compton, and I turn to my boyfriend who's 18 years younger, and I go, you know, you probably don't know this, but I actually know 4 of the people portrayed in that movie. Tupac Shakur, I followed around one day on a show I was on with Roseanne.
Get out.
Ice-T, I, of course, was on Law & Order, SUV, as my mother says. Snoop Dogg and I made out when I hosted the Billboard Music Awards, and I spooned with Suge Knight. Spooned.
How? Where? Where?
Okay.
How?
What do you mean? How can you ask me where? Obvi, totes, Cat Williams' house.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, that makes sense.
Now I have
Now
the
it
attention of the
totally
whole-
makes sense.
Oh, hi, everybody. Now you care about me. Now you want to get my book. Now we're selling books. But anyway, so I said, you know, Suge, when's the last time you just spooned with a woman and just enjoyed some tenderness? And then Suge said, normally I like
No.
And Suge put his arms around me and I said, doesn't this feel nice? And don't you feel a little warm and fuzzy? And he was like, I don't feel nothing. And I said, I know, but you know what? Someday you will. And then I felt like when the hold could get tighter, I should get out while the getting was good.
Yeah, that was
So
a
you
good idea.
ran.
But I made my friends laugh, and that's all that matters.
Okay,
as
so
usual.
tomorrow you're going to be at the Grove for a book signing.
7 p.m. at the famous Grove in Los Angeles.
Celebrity run-ins, my A
Santa
to Z
will be there?
index.
And I have a surprise, which is that my 96-year-old mother, Maggie, if you watch the D-List or my talk show, is also going to come to the signing.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
That's a bonus. Cool.
Awesome.
Kathy,
Thank you so
we
much,
love you.
Kathy.
All right, thanks, you guys. Call me anytime.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Kath.
You're sure that's not your mug?
I have no idea. It's
Yeah.
not mine anymore.
All right.
We're gonna kidding. We're gonna.
I heard that, you
I'm kidding. I
bastard.
was kidding.
You
Oh, she's still here?
bastard.
Just
oh, she's
a
still
joke.
here. Oh.